Hi, I'm Jacob Kelly. This is my third industry interview, and in this interview, I interviewed Carlos Ordaz. Some background on Carlos Ordaz is that he was born in Ecatepec de Morelos on March 1st, 1979. He played soccer professionally in Mexico, most notably with CF Monterrey in 1996, and he also coached in Mexico and the United States. His first coaching job was at Club America in 2014, in which he coached U13s and U15s. And he also coached at Necaxa, in which he coached U20s, the second team in Mexico City. He is now currently the girls SCCL Director at Inter Atlanta FC, and that is an image of him last year wearing an Inter Atlanta hoodie and has an Inter Atlanta backdrop behind him. A summary of this interview is I focused highly on the differences between American and Mexican youth systems and how gender differences can be handled throughout the workplace. We talked about having family and connections, respecting players by being honest and being able to communicate with them respectfully. We talked the differences in player professionalism in Mexico and the player professionalism in America and how they are different and the same. The key points of this interview. The family and connections, we talked about having support from family. He talked a lot about having the love from his parents, being able to communicate and connect with his brother, whether that be in Atlanta or whether that be in Mexico, as they both played for similar teams, and how he made connections throughout his soccer career. He talked about how at Club America, their executive director, was his friend while he played, and eventually reached out to him to have him come be the coach of the youth system, some of the youth clubs at Club America. We talked about honesty, in which respecting players and having them respect you back, and communicating with them about what they need to improve on, how to go about their life, and how to go about getting better. We talked about the importance in trust, having parents trust you while also communicating with them with honesty. The player professionalism in Mexico was the amount of training that they trained per week. Carlos said that they train about 5 times per week for about 3 hours while also traveling to and from training. He talked about how when he was playing, when he was 16, 17, 18, 19, while he was going to school, he would go and train from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. after taking a bus or taking the equivalent of MARTA in Mexico to training, then go straight from training to school for about 6 hours. Go home, sleep, and repeat. This is kept the same throughout most of the youth system in Mexico, as they are looked at as professionals. The player professionalism in America is a little bit different due to the fun-oriented play and training, in which players are expecting to have fun, and it's less focused on preparing them to be professional players. Inter Atlanta also, from what Carlos has said with other individuals in which he has connections with, whether that be in Mexico or Europe, Inter Atlanta has an incredible youth system in that it is up to par with those of the likes of Real Madrid or Club America or Necaxa in different clubs of that caliber. What I've learned from this interview is that making connections is vital in picking up opportunities throughout life. There are 2 quotes in which Carlos has stated about family and also making friends to be able to move on and make connections. Communicating in a respectful way is important in gaining trust from parents and others, and how you communicate is how you regain that respect and trust. We also learned differences in the American youth soccer system and other countries through professionalism, reputation, and expectation from those around you, whether that be how you train, how you get to training, when you get to training, and how you leave training. What I believe that I could have done differently throughout the interview is that I could have prepared more with pronunciations of different things that are important in Carlos's life. Before the interview, Carlos had asked me how I figured out about Ecatepec de Morelos, his birth nation. I had to tell him where I found it. His birth city. And also Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León, the university that he attended at the time. So, thank you so much for listening to this interview, and